A few years ago, I found myself in an unusual predicament. I had to break into my own house. It was a frigid winter night in Montreal, with temperatures plummeting to minus 40 degrees, a point where Celsius and Fahrenheit converge. I had just returned from visiting my friend Jeff across town. As I stood on my porch, I realized with a sinking feeling that my keys were inside, clearly visible on the dining room table. Panic set in as I tried all the doors and windows, but everything was securely locked. Calling a locksmith was an option, but it was midnight, and the freezing temperatures made the wait unbearable. I also couldn't return to Jeff's house because I had an early flight to Europe the next morning, and my passport and suitcase were inside. Desperation took over, and I resorted to breaking a basement window with a large rock. After clearing away the glass shards, I crawled through the window and temporarily covered the opening with cardboard. The next morning, I planned to call my contractor to fix the window on my way to the airport. As a neuroscientist, I understand how stress affects the brain. Under stress, our brain releases cortisol, which raises heart rate, modulates adrenaline levels, and clouds our thinking. The next morning, groggy from lack of sleep and preoccupied with the broken window, I hurriedly got ready for my flight. But at the airport check-in counter, I realized I had forgotten my passport at home. I rushed back through the snow and ice, retrieved my passport, and returned to the airport just in time. However, my seat had been given away, and I ended up in an uncomfortable spot next to the bathrooms on the 8-hour flight. During that sleepless flight, I had plenty of time to reflect on the situation. I wondered if there were systems I could implement to prevent such mishaps, or at least minimize their impact. A month later, I discussed my experience with my colleague, Danny Kahneman, a Nobel Prize winner. He introduced me to the concept of prospective hindsight, or pre-mortem, a term coined by psychologist Gary Klein. Unlike a post-mortem, where experts analyze what went wrong,